Family, how are you? So much I want to say. Today, talk to you about dependents, children, tax returns. Okay, this is something that I go through and I explain constantly. Now, there's going to be about 3 or 4 different things we're going to talk about. So it may be a little bit of a longer video, but I'll try to keep everything together so that it makes sense. All right, first things first. When it comes to children and dependents, there's 2 different types of tax credits. Okay, there's the earned income credit. There's the child tax credit. Most of us have heard these terms before. All right. Now, what do they mean? Earned income credit means that the child lives with you. All right. The child tax credit means that you are paying more than half of that child's support. All right. And the IRS deems support as $4,050. Now, every year that number goes up because of inflation. You'll have to Google what that number is every year. For 2018, I believe it's 4105. But that is what's considered support for one individual in America. Okay, that takes care of everything: food, gas, clothes, water, etc. Now, when I tell this to people, the first thing they argue with me about is it costs way more than that to take care of a child. Listen, I take care of children. It doesn't cost more than that. What does cost is child care. That's what's really expensive. Daycare, child care, somebody watch the baby. That's what costs a lot of money. Guess what? That is not part of supports, okay? Matter of fact, it's kind of an antiquated idea, but the way the IRS sees it is that child care is only necessary if you want to work. And working, of course, is a woman's choice. I know it sucks. It's true. For a lot of single mothers, for a lot of women, working is not a choice. It is a necessity. And so childcare becomes a necessity. But unfortunately, as of right now, it is not part of support. Okay? Don't get it confused with child support. 2 different things. All right. Now, let's talk about this. This is why it's important. All right. Number 1, both parents can split the child. Both people can have the child on their tax return. One person can get the earned income credit. The other person can get the child tax credit. All right? Nothing wrong with that. That's legal and legit. I do that for couples all the time. Matter of fact, when I do have a couple with children, I always run multiple scenarios, especially if there's multiple children involved, to find out what's the best way for them to file. Sometimes it's best for one parent to get all the earned income credit, the other parent to get all the child tax credit. You add those 2 refunds together, and a lot of times it's higher than if they were to file together with all the children on the tax return. Okay. There's also the possibility to split. Maybe you got 2 kids earned income credit on one return, and you got 2 kids child tax credit plus another kid earned income credit on the other tax return, and child tax credit on the other. You know, you can split it however you want to do it. It'll always suggest that people play around with those scenarios to find out what's going to be best for them. All right. Now, that's 1. Okay. 2, what happens when you got baby mama, baby daddy trying to file the kid at the same time? This is the deal. All right. Very simple. The IRS does not get involved in civil matters. The IRS does not get involved in civil matters. What's between you and baby daddy and baby mama is between y'all. So what the IRS does is they have what's called tiebreaker rules. All right. Tiebreaker rules simply means that if you are the biological parent, you have the legal right to carry that baby. If both people carry the baby at the same time, the IRS is going to send a letter asking for proof that you can carry the baby. What proof do you need, you may ask? Very simple. You simply need a lease with the child's name on it. Anyone can come up with that. That's nothing. Okay. Next thing you need school records with the address on your tax return on the school records. Again, something very easy to come up with. I help people do this stuff all the time. If the child is not school age, then you have to have medical records and a lease, right? Medical records must have the address that's on the tax return on the medical records. All right. That's the proof you need. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So because that proof is so easy to attain, What happens if both mother and father both send that proof to the IRS? Then what does the IRS do? Well, whoever has the highest income gets the child. That's simple. All right? Also, it's important to understand that the biological parent gets precedence over any other relative, which means if you have grandmother carrying a baby and then baby daddy filed the baby, I don't care who has what, baby daddy gonna get that child. Period. All right? All right. Number 3. If you are a father, specifically, I'm talking to the men. Be mad at me if you want to, but I'm talking to the men because most of the time it's happening to the men. If you are paying child support, okay, and your child support is more than half of that 4105, you, sir, are legally obligated to carry that child as a dependent on your tax return. You do not get the earned income credit, but you do get the child tax credit. I don't care what baby mama say. All right? Now, when guys come into my office, what I do is I print out a form for them. It's form 8332. Okay? Form 8332 is a form that the custodial parent, which is usually baby mama, can sign to give baby daddy, the non-custodial parent, the right to claim the child as a dependent for whatever tax years you want to come up with. It can be every other year. It can be every 2 years. It can be every 5 years. You can come up with whatever agreement you want. What that does is it stops a lot of debating and going back and forth and arguing, right? Because once that form gets filed with the IRS, that's it. You made the agreement, right? It's form 8332. Now, if you're a father out there, you're paying child support, baby mama saying, no, you ain't gonna carry the baby as no dependent, I don't care, blah, 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 that's my baby. Here's what we do. We simply take the child away from the mother. Now, of course, you have to have more income than the mother for this to work. Okay? You can come up with that income however you want to. You hear me? It can be cash income, it can be whatever income you want to. And we file that tax return with the IRS by paper. We mail that in, okay? And the IRS will take that child away from her, dependent, earned income credit, all that stuff, until she's ready to come to the table and negotiate. Because you, sir, are legally able and obligated to carry that child as your dependent because you are literally paying to support that child, okay? It doesn't cost more than $4,000 a year to support a child. So if your child support is anywhere near $200-300 a month, guess what? You are supporting that child. Now, I know that don't count for daycare. I get that. But that's not what is considered support as far as the IRS is concerned. So $4,000 a year, you're supporting that child. If you're paying more than half of that, that child is your dependent. That's the way it works. And so if this is happening to you, talk to me. There's things that we can do to make this happen for you. All right? Okay. Number 4, dependents, parents. If you have parents or older relatives that don't work, maybe they're getting Social Security, you can file them as dependent on your tax return. All right? They don't have to live with you. You do have to prove that you pay more than half their support, but I mean, what is that? Grocery bill receipts? You know? I mean, it ain't nothing. My dad was on my tax return until he passed away last year. Well, 2017 he passed away. He was on my tax return every year, you know? So that, Shakeem, what's a damn deal? I ain't seen your face in a long time, man. When I seen you on the book, I had to reach out to you. I think you live in close to Houston or something like that right now. But anyway, that's my little wrap for today. Dependents, earned income credit, child tax credit, and you can claim it your parents. Another one. This is a funny one, okay? All right, here we go. If you have children in Mexico, now I have not done this personally. I haven't done this personally, but it can be done, all right? If you have children in Mexico, you can file those children on your tax return as your dependent for the child tax credit, okay? What does that mean? All you got to do is get some kids in Mexico, all right, and apply for an I-10 number for them. Now, legally, they're supposed to be here in the United States for this to happen, but to be very honest with you, the IRS does not have a really good way of determining whether or not they're in the United States. Once you apply for the I-10 number, that I-10 number goes on to the tax return and you're good. What you need to make this happen is what's called an acceptance agent, okay? I can be an acceptance agent. The reason why I'm not an acceptance agent right now is because in order to be an acceptance agent, you have to file 5 of these things every single year for your license to remain active, all right? I don't file 5 a year. So every time I do this, I have to reapply for the license, which isn't a big deal. It's $140. But like I said, the trick is you have to have some kids in Mexico that's willing to do this for you. And it can be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, whatever you come up with. So from me to you, I holla.